until we go to the an adult stage, it is a whole big process. And we start at the 6th and 7th week of ossification. So ossification or bone formation, osteogenesis. Genesis means starting. It starts at the 6th and 7th week of embryonic development. When the baby is in the uterus, 6th and 7th week, that is when the bones start to ossify. So up to 25 years, varying from person to person. So this can be, it is not the optimal or it is not an exact number, it is a range. So 25 years varies around. So ossification stroke bone formation at the fetal stage has two processes. Now we have the primary ossification and we have the secondary ossification. So the primary ossification now it is at the fetal stage. This contains the intramembranous and the endochondral ossification. Now at the secondary ossification, this occurs after birth. So the things to do with the skull and all that, they ossify after birth. Now we have the intramembranous ossification, which we will talk about today. Now the intermembranous ossification occurs in 4 stages. So the first stage, it occurs ossification center development. So there is the development of the ossification center. This is the first stage of intermembranous ossification. The second stage is the calcification. What is calcification? As we said in our previous videos, calcium is a very important nutrient in our bones because 90% of calcium and 80% of phosphorus are stored in our bones. So bones are a store for minerals. And so calcification is where this calcium is deposited into the bones. Calcium is deposited from your blood where you consume it. Maybe you have taken calcium tablets, maybe you have taken calcium supplement, maybe you have eaten food that have calcium. They are deposited into the bones in a process called calcification. It occurs at the age of 10 to 20 years, the peak being at puberty. So calcification is a very good process. So calcification is the second stage of intermembranous ossification. So what is the third stage? So there is the development of a trabeculi. What is a trabeculi? Trabeculi is the cancellous bone. So this is the third stage of intermembranous ossification. The trabeculi or the cancellous bone is formed. Now what is the function of the cancellous bone? So the cancellous bone at the metaphysis, this is where the nerve endings come to end. There are a lot of concentration of arteries and bones. So this is a spongy, meaning it contains a lot of pores. Okay, so this is the spongy bone. It is formed at the third. Periosteum is the fourth stage where you develop or we have ossification. So the periosteum is the lining at the end of the bone, a protective layer at the end of the bone. So the bone is divided into the epiphysis, which is at the end and where the cartilage is attached to. We have the shaft of the bone, which we call the diaphysis, and we have the center between the epiphysis and the shaft. We have the metaphysis. So those are very good places to know of your bone. So in the bone we have very good cells which we call the osteoblasts. We have very good cells which we call the osteoclasts. And we have very good cells that we call the osteophytes. So osteophytes are the bone cells. Osteoclasts are the bone destroying cells. And osteoblasts are the bones remodeling cells. So these are the bones that are involved in your day-to-day, in which remodeling occurs daily, because due to some of the minimal fractures that we get, like stress fractures, every other day we are walking and we get bones worn out. The bone remodeling cells are the osteoblasts. Now we have bone destroying cells. When bones are destroyed and we have some cells in the bones that are unwanted, maybe due to tumors, maybe due to fractures, maybe due to accidents, we have the osteoclasts, which help to remove and reshape the bones. Now we have the osteophytes, which are the bone forming cells. So tune in for more information about your bones. Make sure every other day you have a glimpse of what your bones and what your muscles need, and we will move together. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, and make sure